Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting news when it comes to Target and some pretty big Target changes going on when it comes to their restocks. Now, I do want to go do a really quick mention too, because we are still on like the Target watch and waiting for that drop to happen in the near future. I just want to let you guys know this probably will not be affecting this next drop. So first and foremost, want to stress that if you guys are still on the lookout for that one, I'm sure probably throughout the next one or two drops we'll be watching that. But we actually had some very intriguing messages I wanted to go and share, because we actually saw some murmurs about this too, maybe around like 2 months or so back as well. And also a lot of the stuff that's been going on in terms of the trends, in terms of the restocks, in terms of everything else, it does seem to make a lot of sense. And I was actually sent this over by a Target employee. So first and foremost, just want to reiterate that probably we'll still be expecting a normal drop as of the normal online drops itself. Just want to stress that, like, we're probably not expecting changes as of like the next like week or two. We're very much overdue for a normal Target drop, so just keep that in mind first and foremost before we give you guys all that information and stuff like that. I don't want anyone kind of potentially losing a drop that they could have maybe watched for or saw online or anything else like that, at least to my understanding. So we have a lot of stuff to go talk about, a lot of intriguing news too as well, and in all honesty, kind of overdue news too, so let's go talk about it. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below, and sign up for Weeble, sign up for Coinbase, and all that other good stuff all down below. So let's dive in the video itself. So first and foremost, as you guys have probably seen, we have been closely monitoring this upcoming Target restock. We have been seeing, even as of recently, new batches of PlayStation 5 consoles showing up, which is really nice, mainly because we saw like kind of some chiller stuff. We saw that some stores were sitting on some stock, and as well some kind of bigger stock too on top of that. And with this, we actually saw a nice little wave of just distribution that has shown up all throughout today. Now, it's still kind of early in the day too, so I'll let you guys know if we see anything else throughout the day itself or later on. So I'll kind of keep you guys in the loop the best we can. But with that one, it basically goes to show that the online drop should in theory be happening very soon. Now, what I mean soon, maybe even as early as tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, as per usual, as we've been mentioning. Around the 6 a.m. Central to 7 a.m. Central Time, I would still be closely watching throughout this week, although as of right now, we have like some Sony stock being delayed, some distribution centers still like sitting on stock. I think we're still waiting for West Coast stuff too, so we'll see if that gets any stock throughout today. So I'll be watching tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. So first and foremost, I want to talk about this new information. So if you guys missed this, maybe around like 2 months ago or so, we actually did see a few select Target store locations starting to trial in-store, aka walk-in, aka just literally on the shelves, restocks for the PlayStation 5s. We believe one of the initial places was in Hawaii, which would kind of make sense too, just because like the shipments are more sporadic. They take a lot longer, they cost a lot more, and with all the supply chain issues and basically just like distribution areas and such, it's just a little bit of a bit to have to go and deal with it. So we actually first and foremost saw it over there. Then we also saw, I believe, another store in Houston as well that was allowing and basically had stock that was allocated just for in-store pickups. Now, this is actually intriguing to note because this is like 2 months ago. We really haven't seen too much more from it, but just based on how we've kind of been testing it, say, from Best Buy or what we even saw from Walmart, where a lot of these stores are trying their best to be like, is it better just to do it online? And then there's like bots and scalpers. Is it like 80% normal people? Is it like 20% normal people? What's going on? Like, what's the best way to do this? What's the best way to get hands on consumers? What's the best way to not make Sony or Microsoft upset? So that's probably why we were even seeing that from, like, say, Walmart, and even now where we're seeing Best Buy, that does seem like they're switching more to in-stores. Now, once again, online, even if they are more so in-stores, online will still be relevant. We'll still be watching Best Buy restocks online, Target restocks online, etc., etc. But the new kind of notion we've actually seen is that we had a memo, and this is for the New York contact homie that I've seen and had for many times, many months, and apparently came more so from a regional side. Where at that point, their memo, they actually did specifically mention that they were wanting to go and move and allocate more electronic and more high-in-demand objects to more so in-store sales. Now let's talk about it a little bit more, because I do believe that does allude towards the PlayStation 5, because as you guys probably know, the Xbox Series X's have been available in stores for quite some time. That's also another point we'll mention in a second. But this also would probably be regards to as well for some other really in-demand stuff that's been kind of heavily scalped. Now, as you guys know, Target's been dealing with like Pokemon card, MLB cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like all that type of stuff scalping, where people will literally go and show up at the stores and wait in stores in the first moment to go and get stock the second it's available. It's actually been kind of a big issue. We've seen it for like Amiibo cards in even Xboxes still, especially with Xboxes when they were like a little bit more on the scalper side too a few months back. So basically the mention we're getting over here is that they might be moving PlayStation 5s to in-store. Now I want to reiterate for this. This is probably not going to be affecting this next upcoming drop because I'm just kind of hearing the murmurs on this, and this may as well just be another trial run. Now, as we mentioned before, we've seen other states such as Houston and Hawaii just doing trials, where it's just like, we have like 20 stock, we'll see how long it goes, we'll see if there's any fights, we'll see if there's any like, commotions, people complaining, someone trying to buy 10 stock and complaining, chargebacks, whatever it is, when it comes to all this stuff, we're kind of in uncharted territories. So, just letting you guys know, it does seem that this actually came from more of a regional manager side, so someone pretty high up on the Target chain, and as well, we've only seen instances so far on the East Coast side, because this is on the New York content. They did go reach out to me, let me know, and they have still been sitting on stock, which, at least for the employees, and also I just want to always remind you guys, that could be completely wrong, but it does kind of seem like most of the stuff is actually either, number one, interesting to share, and number two, it's overdue. Like, we should really be selling these consoles more consistently in stock, and especially for people in, say, Pacific time, 4 a.m. or like 5 a.m. for Mountain Time is absolutely unacceptable just to have a chance to get a console. So I'm sure you guys would understand, especially those guys would want to be like, yeah, can we please just have them in stores for the love of God, so I could wake up at a normal hour and not at 3 a.m. just to see if there's a restock, which I completely understand because it is kind of annoying. But when it comes to this stuff, it does seem like some of the stock actually might be allocated towards a future, maybe the next additional wave of stock, or as well, just future restocks in the near future for Target walk-ins. Now, we actually did reach out as well to our Vegas contact, and even our newest contact too, here is in Chicago, that also had some nice distribution numbers, and they did not have any updates. There was no new information from them. They did not get any memos. They did not get any new type of like lines, emails, or whatever it was, so just keep that in mind. And as well, I would love this because we also did go and see, as I mentioned, trials in different regions. So I'm not sure if we'll want to go check those areas throughout this next upcoming drop or right after the next Target restock happens online, because that'd probably be a nice time for them to be like, yeah, we'll sell 20 online and have 10 in stores, and people can check the stores and see. But we do also sometimes see canceled Target stock as well, kind of how we've kind of been seeing for Best Buy, where like, let's say there's a drop and then like 5 or 6, 7 days later, no one picks up the console, whether it was a glitch, whether it was like an issue, whether their bank just assumed that they weren't going to have issues, or they just didn't have gas, or just maybe got it at a different store, like they bought it at 2 stores or what. There's a lot of potentials and what ifs. So we also were seeing a lot of that stuff too as well. So Target's not against selling them in stores, and especially in the fact that the Xbox Series X's throughout these past few months have been doing very well. Now, it might be harder, though, for Target to go track in-store purchases, mainly because for that one, like the Xboxes are just whenever they get stock, they release it, although there does seem to be like a proper release schedule. But I just want to let you guys know it does seem like this is pushing towards their next step, which would make sense, again, because with Target, they have done it with Xboxes and have had no issues with it, so they kind of know how the vibe is, they kind of know how the flow goes, they kind of know how like the whole console, I guess, restocking era should be, and as well, they understand maybe hopefully how to deal with scalpers, hopefully how to deal with botters, whatever they could go do. And as well, we have also been seeing Best Buy that hasn't really done a proper PlayStation or Xbox Online drop in like over a month. So with them pretty much more switching towards in-store, it does kind of seem like stores are maybe trying to push towards it just a little tiny bit more. Which once again, if you guys want to give your comments and thoughts down below, feel free to, but I really do think that Target will be making this push in the very near future. Once again, though, I do think this next upcoming Target drop will not be affected, or maybe the next like 3 or 4. Like, you never know, because sometimes it does, like they test it out in certain regions, they test it out in certain areas, and I'm sure in the near future we'll go switch to that, although as of right now I think they're still in the testing phases. But this is kind of big because I do think the newer contact we have is like a bigger store, so it's kind of cool to see on how it's going to happen. So this is kind of like on that early news stage, or like early news leak in terms of stock for it, but it does kind of make a lot of sense, so we'll be watching this throughout the next few weeks and seeing when they will finally make that switch fully to in-store. And like how it kind of was for Best Buy, it's good for you guys, because if you guys are on top of news news or watching videos or seeing tweets or articles or whatever, that probably means you guys will have a pretty higher chance to go and get your consoles rather than someone who's just hoping for the best and refreshing Target once a day randomly and open for their console. So overall, it just basically seems like Target drop still looking very, very soon. We'll still be watching the online drop. It does look like they're trying their best to get more in-store purchases soon and more in-store additional stock as well. We'll give you guys more updates as time goes on, and if we see any more memos or any corporate stuff, we'll keep you guys in the loop. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below, and sign up for Weeble, sign up for Coinbase, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching, and of course, like I said, follow Twitter and Twitch. Love you guys.